Quiet on set.
Rolling.
Action.
Alright, so my name is Sebastian Parra and I'm here with Caitlin Johnson.
Woot.
Caitlin, how are you?
I am good. How are you?
Good. So it's been a while since we did a review of something, but today we're going to change it up a little bit. Today we're doing a movie review as opposed to a play review. Now, this is exciting for me because we're both filmmaking majors. So I feel like this is more my play field, more like what I like to do.
Definitely.
I feel like a little bit more comfortable with whatever I'm saying. Don't quote me on that though. Alright, so what we're basically going to be doing is just like reviewing a different movie every other week and just having fun with it. I mean, we haven't really read anything online much because we want to be just as surprised as you guys to see what's coming. And today's movie review is going to be Moonfall. This movie came out not too long ago.
February 4th, 2022 to be exact, on the release date.
And this movie is still fresh in our mind.
Mm-hmm.
So, spoiler alert, we are going to be talking about things that happen in the movie. So if you don't want to have any spoilers of it, you may skip until you see this movie and then come back to the podcast and let us know what you think.
Yeah, please watch the movie. I'd love to know what you all think.
So
yeah,
now, I feel like many people have different opinions of this movie. Personally, I think I really liked it from the get-go.
The trailer, I feel like, demonstrates something different. So when watching the trailer, the story is pitched as if this young scientist has discovered something that NASA hasn't discovered yet. He goes on this crusade to get people to believe him that the Earth is going to be hit by the moon and that the moon is falling into Earth's orbit. And it seems more like a serious movie. Honestly, I was going into it thinking it was like your run-of-the-mill disaster movie just set in space. Mm-hmm. That is not what happens in the movie. Yes, there is a scientist. He is played by John Bradley. Great actor. I really like that guy. He was really fun.
Really cool.
And also in this movie is Patrick Wilson, Halle Berry, and Wen Yu. They were all really great. There's more awesome actors that were in it too, but those are like the main four. The trailer I feel like lied to me, but I personally was not disappointed. What do you think?
So I remember seeing the trailer like a month ago or so before it came out, and I still thought that the movie looked really cool. Mm-hmm. And then when I went and saw it, I do feel like the movie was different from what the trailer had to show. But I still really, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I think while watching the movie, many times I thought, okay, this is the ending. Mm-hmm. And then it will end, and I will be like, okay, I see why it didn't end, but it could have ended.
Yeah.
So I feel like this movie could definitely be a show as opposed to a movie. And that's why it actually reminds me of a different show that I really like that has kind of a similar aesthetic to it. It's called The 100, and it's basically a show about humanity destroying the Earth and moving on to living in space, and then they come back to Earth years later. So it's obviously a little bit different, but The 100 definitely knew how to take that approach of we're destroying the Earth and we're just gonna move on from it. But I feel like the movie didn't do anything wrong. Like I said, many times I felt like it could have ended. But sometimes I'm glad it didn't.
Yeah, so I guess for like a brief synopsis that we can give about like sort of the main events. It opens up in space with Patrick Wilson, who plays our character Brian, and Halle Berry, who plays our character Jacinda. They're up in space doing what looks like some repairs when this sort of, I don't know how to describe it, like a high-tech black cloud sort of crashes into them and kills one of their partners.
So how the movie explains that high-tech black cloud is basically your classic Google or Alexa. It's an intelligent assistant.
Well, before we get onto that, we should explain the conspiracy theory. This whole entire movie developed into a crazy conspiracy theory led by this scientist. This head scientist, played by John Bradley, is not actually a scientist. He's pretty much actually a conspiracy theorist who believes in, I forget how it was phrased.
He believes that all planets and satellites, such as the moon and stuff like that, are hollow, and that there are civilizations inside, but not only that they're hollow, but also that they are giant structures.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's civilizations. It's just like a massive internal structure with like just rock over top
So
of it.
so it's pretty much the humans capture a white star, a white how's it called? It's not a white giant. I know that's not the word.
I think you might be right about the white star, though.
Yeah, it's a white star,
Yeah.
a tiny star. They capture it around metal that keeps it sustained, and then they covered it in rock. So it's like the moon has metal.
The whole end of the movie sort of reveals that before us living on Earth, there was this other race of human that was high tech and had no war, and they had their own sort of version of like Google or Alexa robotic helpers that grew on their own sense of intelligence and forced the human race to go back in time. Like they were able to, the older humans were able to take their DNA and sustain it and create all of us as we are now. But a lot of their structures that they made, such as the moon, still exist. But this sort of Siri, Alexa buffer thing,
the AI,
still exists and is still seeking to destroy the human race. So that's how it stumbles upon Earth and decides to attack the moon, which will then in turn destroy the Earth as it falls and crumbles into the atmosphere.
Okay, so let me build up a little bit on that. What they said on the movie is that this civilization escaped in their ships, trying to find somewhere else that they could settle on. And then they found our solar system, which was the closest thing to what their solar system looked like. And they just built the moon themselves. And just waited around while the Earth was like creating itself. So they waited all that long while the Earth was in the process of becoming what it now is, and then they moved to the Earth.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it is. And then as far as the main storyline that we're witnessing, Brian, our astronaut guy who witnessed the attack, was basically let go from NASA because they tried to cover up that previous attack.
Yeah, because he did see it.
He did see the AI and no one believed him. Neither did Jocinda, his partner who was on the mission at the time, because she had passed out. So he's still reeling from seeing this AI. So when this scientist guy approaches him being like, the moon's just a structure built by aliens, he's like, doesn't really believe it. But NASA has started noticing that the moon is falling towards the Earth. So it's almost like our conspiracy theorist guy and NASA sort of are realizing it at the exact same time. And instead of, say, like a month or so long process of the moon falling, it's in the span of, what, like 5 days?
Yeah.
Like 5 to 7 days is what it takes for the moon to just fall into Earth. So there's not enough time. It causes a bunch of natural disasters. People are dying. People are fleeing.
And funny enough, it's not even that the NASA didn't believe him. They just choose to ignore him.
Yeah.
Because later on in the movie it's revealed that he actually he had a camera on his suit.
Brian did, yeah.
Yeah, and NASA had the footage of that camera, but it wasn't released to the public. I guess not to make any fear of the moon.
Which, like, is understandable, but that thing is also attacking the moon, so you kind of want to know.
Yeah.
Because the NASA knew about this in 2014 when that part was set, and in the versus the present. 2014 to now is a lot of time that they could have been doing something about it, but they chose to ignore it. But yeah, so the movie was just like disaster after disaster after disaster. We have little side stories about how Brian's son has grown up to get arrested and is stuck in jail during this natural disaster that's happening. And then he breaks his son out of jail, and I don't know. There's a lot of different side storylines.
And now this movie actually has two antagonists. The AI attacking from the moon, making the moon itself fall, and the government itself.
Which, are we really surprised? The government is always the bad guy.
Because what the government is trying to do in this movie is what any government nowadays tries to do when anything happens, and it just send missiles.
Send missiles, blow it up, get rid of the entire thing.
The moon is coming, just blow it up.
Even though that'll cause a lot of destruction here on Earth as well, they're just like, well, at least I get to survive because I'm safe in my bunker.
At least I get to use missiles.
Exactly.
I think that's how they see
But
it.
I really don't think missiles would have worked. So anyways, we end up traveling to the moon on this. So Brian, Jacinda, and our conspiracy theorist guy end up traveling to the moon on their own, without sort of like government approval on the mission. And they decide to travel into the moon, discovering everything that we said about the previous alien race. And they manage to destroy the AI from the inside with like this high-tech bomb that they received from the government. And yeah.
So, the way that they destroyed it is that when they got to the inside of the moon, they were trapped into this base that the aliens had made. Well, not the aliens, our ancestors had made inside the moon. And our ancestors helped us develop these new bombs. It was like upgraded. So it was like level 2 bomb. And that's how they were able to do it. Because their ship was also broken already.
Yeah.
So it's like there wasn't anybody in there. It was just like mentally there.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, yeah. So the movie ends with sort of like those fake deaths that you see a lot. So we end up thinking that the conspiracy theorist guy has now sacrificed his life to destroy.
Which he did.
He did. But his consciousness apparently was scanned by our ancestors' technology and was now able to live forever inside of the moon's technological structure. And then Brian and
he's
Jacinda...
really happy because I'm now part of the moon.
He's part of the structure. But yeah, our friendly astronaut friends, Brian and Jacinda, get to go back down to Earth, reunite with their families. And it's sort of just like this happy ever after, but obviously like Earth has been utterly destroyed by the gravitational pull of the moon and whatnot. So there's a long way to go, but it ends on sort of like this optimistic ending.
Yeah. Really. I feel like the ending of this movie should have been similar to the after credit scene from the first Avengers movie.
When they're eating the shawarma.
Or they're just eating shawarma.
Honestly, that is kind of... That makes a lot of sense. I kind of wish that too. In my personal opinion, the side stories with like Brian's son having like... There's like a little bit of romance. Then there's some daddy issues that gets brought up. It makes a lot of sense.
Brian's son is in jail.
Yeah, I just feel like I didn't really get enough time to really care. Like, I don't really care that his son got arrested. I don't really care that he's falling in love with Jacinda's babysitter. Like, I don't know. I just don't really care.
But I think what they're trying to do with that is make some kind of motivation for them to do something with their lives. Mm-hmm. So, for example, they needed to get Brian's son out of jail at that exact time. So then Brian's son could take Jacinda's son all the way to his father, because otherwise there wouldn't be anybody to drive the car out that way.
Like, it makes sense, don't get me wrong, and it's really great that there was more people, and very convenient that there's more people. I just feel like if it was a series, we could have cared about them more.
Yeah, for
sure. Been more concerned about their struggle, because there's a lot of sequences where Brian's son is getting like robbed by other people that are just trying to survive and whatnot. I'm just like, I don't know how much I care. Like, you care to an extent. I just feel like it was a very rushed movie overall. It felt like a lot happened. And I do agree, there's many times where I was just like, okay, is the movie over now? Mm-hmm. Or was there something else? But then I was like, wait, there can't be anything else because of this. But then, I guess we're doing this now. It felt like it kind of went all over the place, but it still overall was a solid story that I was able to follow at the end. Just during it, I think I was a little bit all over the place.
So, shall we go into a couple of the professional reviews?
Yes. Okay.
Again, we have not really read this all that well.
So, this first one is from Variety, and its title is Roland Emmerich's latest serves up a lunar disaster at its most loony. So they first compare it looks like, to Don't Look Up.
Which I have not seen.
Which we also have not seen. And so let's see here. The joke of Netflix's recent Don't Look Up is that scientists discover a meteor headed straight for Earth, and even with 6 months to plan, humanity is too skeptical and disorganized to prevent it. Meanwhile, in Roland Emmerich's latest eye roller, Moonfall, the joke is pretty much flipped. Everybody's favorite satellite is set to collide with Earth in, a day or so, and that's just enough time for 2 space jockeys to suit up, shuttle out, and set things right. I say joke because Moonfall is designed to elicit incredulous laughter, as its ludicrous plot snowballs from a high-concept hypothetical question: what if the what if the moon suddenly changed course and came crashing toward Earth? To increasingly implausible complications on the theme, all while requiring Halle Berry and NASA acting director Jacinda Fall to keep a straight face as she says things like everything we thought we know about the nature of the universe has gone out the window, like gravity, logic, and how we define good acting.
Oh, come on.
I thought she was fine, but
come on. I think they were great. I mean, this dude is literally from he's the dude that kills demons. Come on.
Yeah.
The Conjuring.
So, yeah, they
I
clearly
thought it was
didn't
great
like
acting.
it. I thought it was great. I didn't really notice anything wrong with the acting, I guess is the better word for it.
Okay.
So, now next is from Inverse.com. Roland Emmerich's greatest hit collides in a thrilling blast.
Yes.
Moonfall is a Fast and Furious with spaceships instead of cars.
Well, Fast and Furious did have a car in space in the latest.
They don't need to know that. What if 2 astronauts, one of them the acting director of NASA and the other a divorced dad trying to make things right with his kid, dragged a conspiracy theorist to the moon in a rocket ship covered in profane graffiti? If you find these hypotheticals even the slightest bit overwhelming to consider, then you might not be ready for Emmerich's latest film. Moonfall takes itself seriously in all the earnest ways the director is known for. The dialogue is absolutely cheesy, and it's easy to imagine Emmerich standing by his actors as their biggest cheerleader on Earth and beyond, championing every ham-fisted line. And yet, while Moonfall is not a comedy, it is one of the first hilarious movies to hit theaters in 2022. I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I feel like I laughed a lot during this movie.
And I think they were going for it? Question mark?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it didn't mean to be this really serious thing, especially because of the
Conspiracy theory.
the conspiracy theorists. Because
Yeah.
we all thought like, yes, okay, you discovered that the moon is falling, but you're saying crazy stuff that ends up being true.
Exactly. That's why I said in the trailer, I thought it was just your run-of-the-mill disaster movie, that something's just going wrong with the moon, not that it's just this multi-structure created by our alien ancestors. But Inverse continues in saying, Moonfall is absurd. It's pure nonsense with a dash of sci-fi gibberish added to justify anything witnessed on screen. But even though it's the end of the world, the characters are having a total blast, so it's easy for the audience to have ridiculous fun too. Humanity might be breaking apart at the seams, but we can still have a good time trying to sort it all out. So oddly enough, Moonfall is blissfully cathartic in its wanton destruction, because we can't control anything. In other words, Moonfall is Fast and Furious with spaceships instead of cars. I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, I cannot find any errors in their logic.
Mm-hmm.
It is pretty insane what they're saying, but it's well done.
Yeah, I agree. So next we go over to Metacritic. So it looks like the score we have as of right now is 4.7, I guess, out of 5 on the review.
Wow.
So it seems like there's like a mixed thing. I see a lot more negative reviews, but it's fine. So let's read this one, if it'll let me. By James McMahon. The bad news is that Moonfall isn't a great movie. The good news is that it's hugely enjoyable for most of its running time. That makes sense. I like that one. Sky Gazer says, I was scared to go see this after seeing the initial reviews. Everyone is a hardcore critic picking it apart. This was a good movie. Just enjoy it for what it is, nonstop and enjoyable. There's a few no way moments, but it is Hollywood sci-fi, not a physics class.
It
also
is a sci-fi movie. It's not trying to be.
It's not a physics
I've
class.
researched, peer-reviewed.
To the people who are criticizing this is by Tony R.S. To the people who are criticizing the acting or the science of the plot, I am sorry, but you just don't get it. This movie was never meant to be some scientifically accurate movie with engaging writing and acting.
Yeah, no one criticizes Aliens for its scientific accuracy.
Mm-hmm. Scott Campbell says, Moonfall is every bit as big, loud, and stupid as you'd expect, but Roland Emmerich's latest disaster epic is also an unforgivably dull slog. That's rude. I thought it was nice. I really enjoyed this film.
As a filmmaker student myself, I really feel like I want to enjoy movies as if I knew nothing about film.
Yeah.
And then I can come back and look at them and analyze them a little bit longer to see how they were structured, what kind of picture they used, like the different shots, which we actually did. We talked about a little bit about the shots that they had.
Yeah. I thought it was really good what they did.
Yeah, different angles and
stuff. I felt like, I don't know, I wasn't too taken aback. Because obviously a lot of the destruction has to happen over a computer. Mm-hmm. But I didn't really focus on that part because I think you still, I don't know, even though you knew it was fake, you could still enjoy it for what it was.
Sci-fi movie.
Yeah, and the fakeness of it, like, it wasn't bad. It wasn't done badly technically at all. So it's not like you could point it out.
CGI or anything.
Yeah, it wasn't like glaringly obvious that this was 100% CG, just because it sort of blended in with the plot really well. Mm-hmm. And wherever they shot it, it blended in really nicely with the computer effects as well.
And there is some like minor drama that is also pretty interesting. Like there's this one scene where Brian goes to see the conspiracy theorists in a hotel. For the first time they're meeting, mm-hmm. well, the second time they're seeing each other in person, and the scientist almost drowns because there's a big mm-hmm. wave coming, and he gets taken by the water, and Brian saves him really quick. Mm-hmm. It's so minor, and it takes like 10 seconds, but he could have died right there and then, and then the movie's over.
Mm-hmm, exactly. So I have a few more that I want to read that are on the negative side. So Terminator fan says, this was pretty darn awful. I can't believe the official, in quotes, critics have rated it as high as in the 40s. Or 4.0s, I don't know. Interesting enough of a concept, but so poorly executed that I didn't care about the characters. This would have done much better as a miniseries type thing, which is something that you have said it would have been done better as a miniseries. But I don't think it was that bad. But this coming from
Terminator fan, has this guy seen Terminator 3?
I mean, I guess people can only justify so much. But the last one I'm going to read from Metacritic is from Fantasy, possibly one of the worst sci-fi movies of all time. Basically, Roland mailed it in stealing lines from his previous movies and just substituting different actors. The acting was subpar, the character development non-existent, as you could care less about a single character. Which, I felt that for a few of them. I did feel, though, that I really cared about our three main characters. Mm-hmm. I was concerned about their family only for their own sake, not necessarily for the family's sake, but I still felt like I cared about them.
And the kid, because he was a little kid, and...
Well, yeah, whenever there's a kid, like an actual kid involved, like, I feel bad for the kid. Mm-hmm. But I did really feel like I cared about the first three main characters. The last review that I have is from the ithacan.org. This is a more negative review, so... Okay. Pulling the reins here. Review. Moonfall is a ridiculous waste of time. With the title Moonfall, little is left to the imagination about what audiences will painfully experience for its 2-hour and 10-minute runtime. Written and directed by Roland Emmerich with horrible special effects and poorly done CGI action sequences, documents the hypothetical undoing that could occur if the moon were to literally fall into the earth. Attempting to explain Moonfall should come with an honorary degree. The film is structured horribly and expects viewers to suspend their disbelief to insane lengths to accept the premise of the film. In its simplest form, Moonfall follows Brian Harper, a disgraced astronaut. I don't even have to read that. That's a whole... Anyway.
I'll take my degree.
The plot of Moonfall is both utterly confusing and uninteresting because there's little believable suspense that can be built from this abundantly on-the-nose premise of the moon falling. The audience expects that the moon will crash into Earth and then watches the destruction as the moon crashes into Earth. Emmerich attempts to throw viewers a curveball by introducing the influence of aliens and alien artificial intelligence capability to rationalize why the moon is crashing into Earth, but it comes across as a desperate Hail Mary to maintain viewers' engagement with the lackluster natural disaster-esque premise.
Again, suspension of disbelief. When you're watching a sci-fi movie, I think you need to have a lot of suspension of disbelief.
Yeah.
It's not even suspension of disbelief. It's just understand that it's a sci-fi movie. Mm-hmm. You're not coming here to see day life of people.
Mm-hmm. Although this review does go on to say Moonfall does so little to make characters care about the characters that having the primary characters die actually sounds appealing. The audience knows nothing about the characters and has no reason to care for them. When the film does try to rely something of substance about the characters, it is delivered in the most heavy-handed dialogue.
For some of them, I can agree with that totally. But like for Brian, I feel like I do care about Brian yeah, I mean, we do know enough about Brian and the conspiracy theories.
I don't. I feel like we could have learned more about him, like
There's
the
why I
conspiracy
said it's
theorist
just
guy.
the scene with the mom.
Yeah,
That's
because
the only
they did
thing.
a lot of like emotional pulling by having our guy go visit his mother who's in a treatment facility
Yeah.
dealing with what I'm assuming is either like dementia or Alzheimer's. But other than that, I can't really say that I had as much of an emotional pull after that.
Yeah. For sure.
Because I was just concerned now for his own safety. I didn't really know much else about him. I learned a lot about Jacinda and Brian because their family was directly involved and they had their own storylines within their family that we were also following.
Mm-hmm.
With our main guy, because his only family was his mom, who then was sort of taken to a separate facility to be cared for, I sort of lost that with him.
Yeah.
But I think that that's on the way that the character was written. I don't think... I don't know how avoidable that would be unless we understood more about his failed science career, because he claims to be this doctor, but we don't really actually see what he's done prior,
Yeah.
or to even explain his sort of genius that he has.
And why is he so smart?
Exactly. The official rating as of right now, according to Google users, 76% like the movie. Rotten Tomatoes has a 38%. IMDb has a 5.3 out of 10. And apparently they include Facebook ratings, and it got a 4.2 out of 5. So it's overall
really
made
mixed.
$36 million at the box office.
What is the budget? $36 million maybe?
Let me look it up.
Yeah, please do.
I would hope that they at least made the money.
Maybe, yeah.
Oh, no. The budget was $140 million. So we still have time, okay? It's still February.
It's still in theaters. Please go see it.
It's still in theaters. Why? Because you want to make sure that Patrick Wilson and Halle Berry get paid?
No, they couldn't have more money than what
True.
they have. But I do like the movie, and I want people to have their own opinions about it. I think the reviews right now are really mixed. Like,
yeah, they are.
this movie has a lot of mixed reviews, and when I say mixed, I mean like people hate it or love it.
Or they're just like meh, which I sort of feel like that.
Yeah.
I sort of feel like that in
I
between.
will see
meh.
it again, I think.
Yeah. What would you personally rate it out of 5?
Now, out of 5 clapping boards, I think I'll give this movie a 3.5 clapping boards out of 5.
I can agree with that. I think I would do the
Yeah.
same thing.
Because I feel like it's not a... I think it's better than a 3,
Mm-hmm.
but definitely not a 4.
And I don't think it's a 2. I would say that because I still felt engaged the entire time. I still was invested in the plot, even though some of the characters lacked that investment for me. I think if this ever was turned into a mini series, I would really enjoy it. Because of how many different ways you could present all the minor characters they make. So we meet so many minor characters that are only in there for maybe like a scene.
Yeah, like the mom or the husband.
Or there's these 2 statistical analysis guys working at NASA that our conspiracy theorist doctor meets with. Who are those guys? And did they die? Because I don't know if they actually made it out alive.
And also the other conspiracy theorists that were
with them.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it moves so quickly that you just sort of, like, left behind other characters and can just assume that they died or
even
hope that they made it.
Like, why is she... Like, we know she's a exchange student, but why is she even there?
I honestly think she's just, like, a live-in nanny. But I have no idea.
But
like, how long
an
has she been working
student.
there? When did you hear she was exchange student? I remember hearing that.
At the beginning, where we first met her, she does mention that she was an exchange student or something like that. I do remember that.
Oh, I don't remember that at all.
Or maybe later on when she was trying to get into the bunker, it was like, am I going to be let in given that I'm an exchange student?
Oh.
I don't remember, but I do
no
remember
recollection of that. But yeah, I mean, it would be interesting to hear her perspective, seeing as she has become this full-time nanny to Jacinda's child and has to somehow keep him alive despite the moon crashing in Earth.
The new husband of Brian's ex-wife.
Uh-huh.
Like, I feel like I cared. I was starting to care a little bit about him. But then he died, and it's like, okay, then I guess he died.
Honestly, the moment that I met him, I was just like, ugh, of course they're gonna bring in this daddy issue sympathy card.
It was really complicated to like him because he was being a really bad person to Brian, but then he was trying to be a good stepdad. Which I don't
Which-
know how that correlates.
Honestly, it does relate in real life, but I didn't have enough time to really feel invested in the fact that Brian's son and him were going to get close to each other. I just feel like suddenly he's dead, and it's just like, oh, okay, well, sucks for you.
Yeah.
Like, the emotional pull that they really tried to have with that particular storyline, I don't think surpassed the main storyline at all. Which is why, again, I say miniseries would have been much better. Because I think they were trying to do way too much and have many different storylines that just did not go through. But anyways, 3.5 out of 5 is my rating. I overall enjoyed it. I probably would see it again. Maybe to learn something new. Yeah.
I think I will see it again. I wouldn't say it's my top 5, not even close. Which is a lot to say. Because, again, my top 1 is Pan's Labyrinth. But my top 2 is Mortal Kombat. Which is a bad movie.
At least you can admit it's a bad movie. Yeah. But that's pretty much it. Please go out and watch it. I mean, if this is the type of movie that I feel like you just need to see for yourself. If you don't already like sci-fi, well, I don't know what to say. But if you're open to sci-fi and the craziness of it. Yeah, or world destruction even. Or if you're just going for Patrick Wilson or Halle Berry, because honestly, I don't blame you. They're great.
Do have their cult.
Yeah, go watch it. Go see it for yourself. See what you think. I'd be curious to see what you guys think.
Alright, and that will conclude our very first movie review and our comeback to short episodes.
Woohoo!
Woo! So I hope you guys liked it, and I hope you come back next week for another either movie or play review. And we enjoy being back, and we enjoy having you back.
Thanks for listening, you guys. Bye.
And
cut.